this happens to a lot of women, happens to a lot of people in general. You get to a place where you look back at your life and you go, man, I used to be able to handle stress so much better. And then all of a sudden, it's almost like, you've fallen off the face of a cliff or something. Pretty soon, man, these things that used to not bother you quite so much, it's like something inside you, your reserve, or this ability to handle stress gets less and less and less, right? And what really is what's happening is the more stress that you pile on yourself, the more that you overload that nervous system of yours, the less and less and less it's able to adapt to it all, right? We're all talking about this thing called overwhelm these days, and it's no question about it, especially for women. For women, this is real. Overwhelm is a real situation, a real thing. What's interesting about that is, but then another question is, why some women seem to be able to handle so much more stress, and they're not really overwhelming their nervous system, but that woman might gain some stubborn weight, or another woman might get hot flashes, or another one might, be irritable at times, where another woman, might have PMS symptoms. So the interesting thing is that we've got all these variances and all these different ways in which people and individuals are affected. But let me explain something to you, because this is, if you can understand this, you can really grasp this. This will really help you. It doesn't matter what the symptom is. Imagine this. We talk so much about what we call starting at the point of most resistance, right? What are the big things that are the primary reason that's causing your problem? And then let's look at, if we fix those, what kind of downstream positive domino effect can we create? So I want you to imagine for a moment. On the coast of California, there are millions and millions of houses. Okay, so imagine that each one of those houses, relate that to like individual women. Each one of those houses are different. Imagine off the coast there's a big hurricane brewing, and all of a sudden these big hurricane winds hit. Now what you're going to have is you're going to have some of those houses that maybe they're not as strong as another house, maybe it's the way that they're positioned, whatever it is, they're going to get demolished. Some of them are going to get a lot of damage to them, and some of them, not so much. So the analogy is, that's how a lot of women are. Some of them, when they're faced with a lot of stress, they get just almost, their whole metabolism, their body, everything gets demolished, their mind, body, demolished. Some of them, it's a problem, and some, not quite so much. Some are able to resist the 150, 200 mile an hour winds. Interesting, right? So I want you to imagine that you've got these set of hormones in your body that we call big hormones that are exactly the same in terms of the analogy as this 150, 200 mile an hour wind. Here's what's consistent. All the houses along the coast are all different. What else is consistent is that wind is coming at 150 mile an hour. So what the result of the stress is the same. The wind is the same, but it affects all these houses differently, right? It's the same. Your big hormones in your body are exactly like the wind. They're going to blow. They're consistent. That's always going to happen. But what happens inside the individual woman's body is going to be different for every one of them. Some might get fatigued, some might get a hot flash, some might get loss of sex drive, some might get inability to sleep, some might get 2 of those 4, some might get, there's 35 different symptoms associated with premenopause and menopause, some might get all of them. The point is, if we can stop the wind, guess what? There's no damage to anybody then. So you're stopping the main source of stress, and then there's a positive domino effect. And if we can get you in that state, and we can give you the things that are necessary to help that, that's how, where you start at the beginning and do the right thing, you get this positive domino effect, and we can help you immensely, through that. So there's a lot of great things, that I talk about when it comes to fatigue, and when it comes to loss of sex drive, when it comes to all the different things that affect women today. So what you do is go to youtube.com/LaFar. I've got a lot of great videos for you.